Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Coming up on this Access City Council program, Bill Briare Park reopens with some great features, including new pickleball courts. And Deputy Fire Chief Robert Nolan is going to give us some tips to stay safe this 4th of July. The councilwoman who represents Ward 1 and is our Mayor Pro Tem, Lois Tarkanian, joins me now. Hi, Councilwoman. Welcome back.
Hi, glad to be back
How are
here.
ya?
I'm fine.
Happy almost 4th of July. We're getting there.
Happy 4th almost of July. Yeah.
We're going to talk about safety for the 4th of July, illegal fireworks. That has been a big issue in the past. Some big changes coming. If you're tired of the illegal fireworks going off all around you, stay tuned because some big changes are on the way.
You could be part of the solution.
Exactly.
Because of the efforts by Metro and putting this together, and our fire department's working with it.
And Robert Nolan, one of our deputy fire chiefs, is going to be here to tell us about that. Councilwoman, we're going to tell everybody where Ward 1 is located. You know it very well, you and your staff, like the back of your hands. But for those that don't know some bearings here, it's right in the center of our valley. Ward 1 is right there. It's actually where Las Vegas started, right there at the Springs. But it includes the area just west of the downtown, but it goes all the way out to the northwest. You have a little part that touches Cheyenne Avenue up there.
I have a little part up there, and we were the first ward ever, and it's right in the middle, exactly practically of the city,
valley, right?
Of the valley,
it's the heart of it all, as you always say.
The heart of it all. That's right.
So, all right. Well, Councilwoman, I know you're very proud of this. We were talking about it on the last show that it was coming up, but you posted this on Facebook. You said, Bill Briare Park has officially reopened after an extensive renovation. Wonderful neighborhood park. Bill Briare Park, folks, if you haven't been out there in a while, check this out. It is totally different and beautiful. Look at this. You got to be happy, Councilwoman. I know this is something you've been driving for.
And you know, when this park was built, we didn't have the funds to complete everything, but we kept our list, and we moved down that list. I think we just got about everything now.
Wow.
We needed more shade and tables.
A water feature, yeah. The
It's right next to the freeway. Oh, this is so wonderful. And let me tell you, we have restrooms there now, too, for the youngsters.
That's good.
When we started out, I said to the people building the park, oh, what do you do if you have a 5-year-old? Oh, well, 2 blocks that way and 3 that way is a gas station.
Oh, great, yeah.
And I said, you can see a 3-year-old you're doing that. But it's just a beautiful park, and it's what we call a passive park, where it's not set up for formal games, but it's set up for you and your family.
Just come out and enjoy.
Enjoy.
Pickleball we saw there, of course, the trails around.
Yes, yes. And
nice, that's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and it's right next to the freeway, easy to reach.
And you're going to have an official opening of this later on?
We will have an official opening eventually. We just wanted to get it open now for the summer, so that it could be enjoyed then.
Yeah, we'll do the official, ribbon cutting later on, but boy, it's beautiful and ready to go right now, so go out and enjoy it, everybody. So, looks great. And Bill Briare Park, by the way, is on Tenaya Way. I should say 650 North Tenaya Way, if you're not exactly familiar, kind of right next to Summerlin Parkway there.
Right, it is, and it's right where you meet it.
Right. Pass it every day going home. So, and Councilwoman, you don't toot your own horn very often, so I'm going to toot it for you. You were named a 2018 Healthcare Hero recently. I guess the formal recognition will be later on in the fall, I think September or something like that.
Right.
But they've told us who the Healthcare Heroes are coming up, who are going to be honored. You are one of them for all the work you've done in the medical district here in Las Vegas.
I was very surprised, but
I'm not.
Somebody nominated me, and I guess they voted for me, and it's a big honor. It's a big honor, and I'm very proud of it. I'm really very proud of what we have done in the medical district. We started with almost nothing there.
Zero.
Had to fight to just get it branded with signs, and now we're in our 2nd year of the medical school.
Yeah.
So.
UNLV's medical school is there now in its current iteration, but it's going to have a brand new building that's going to be going under construction.
Right,
here.
and the building will be
fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. But right now they're meeting in other empty spaces they have in the area.
The old dental school, right? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Where the dental school is, where the nursing classes are. They're doing that, and they're carrying on beautifully their classwork.
Yeah.
We should be very proud because it's very difficult to get a medical school started and accredited at this point of their development this early.
Absolutely. Dr. Barbara Atkinson is the dean. She's done just an incredible job.
She has.
And the state really stepped up. People here, you may not know this, but to attract really good students, the first year of classes, the first year students had their tuition paid for. Now, this is in medical school, extremely expensive. Their tuition was paid. It's about 60 students, all their tuition covered.
Yes, and as I understand, the second year now is
Wow,
covered.
that's amazing.
It's the generosity in the community. That's what it is, the generosity within the Las Vegas community.
Well, UNLV certainly stepped up, but the community did too, so congratulations. And you are being honored for helping pull all those various pieces together.
That's what you have to do, pull the pieces together. I didn't realize healthcare was as competitive as it is. I learned as we set up our committee, and however, we've all worked together as community partners, each contributing for the good of the people who need that hospital.
Well, it's going to be a showpiece for future generations
It
here
will
to
be.
have that
When it's
medical school
all
and
finished,
all.
it'll be fantastic.
And of course, the Ruvo Brain Institute is part of this whole
Right,
process. So
right.
congratulations, Councilwoman, on your honor, and well deserved.
And if you notice, the new light rail they're talking about will be going downtown and then going up
and connecting right to that
with
area.
the medical area. So I
Stay
think it'll
tuned.
be a great thing.
And you had a big hand in it all the way around. So
I'm
very
proud
good.
of that, yeah.
And then, Councilwoman, you also spoke to a realtors group at the M Resort. This was back early part of June, early part of this month. And now this was interesting because you had realtors, a lot from here in the area, but many from around the country as well. You're talking about just various issues in dealing with local government, right?
Right, and real estate and local government, right. And of course, the short-term rentals came up.
that was
And
sure.
we had the county code enforcement gentleman there, and we discussed the different situations. They have no short-term rentals allowed in the county, and of course we do. And we talked about some of the problems and some of what's been happening. And they were a very nice group, by the way, very nice.
Good, good. It's a tough issue because people who own the property feel like they should be able to do what they want, but the neighbors, if you're renting it out to people who are there then disrupting the neighborhood, it's almost then now you've got a commercial venture in a neighborhood, and so it sometimes doesn't fit very well.
Yeah, I probably am well known for not being in agreement with short-term rentals, and I am not in agreement because it's zoned for residential and it's not zoned for business, and this is a business. Airbnb comes in there and they'll say it's a business. We make them get a business license. So what you're doing is having businesses okay for the residential area, and I just can't agree with that. But that's what our council voted, so we're trying to do our best so that we
Balance it,
protect the
yep.
people
Right,
and
right.
protect them, yes.
Right, try to find that middle ground where you're going to allow it to happen, but also respect the rights of the people who live there all the time and have
We
to
live
deal
there
with the
40
noise.
or 50 years.
Yeah.
We have some places in Ward 1 where we are on the third generation
Right.
of people, yes.
Right.
And they like our ward because we sort of parallel the strip.
Right.
So we have had more requests for short-term
More
rental.
than anyone else,
Yeah.
absolutely,
We're
because of
buried
your
in them.
proximity. Yeah, exactly, to the Strip. Well, stay tuned, and again, I'm sure the realtors, like everybody else, a lot of questions related to short-term rentals and many other things in dealing with local government. Councilman, I love this. You posted this on Facebook. You said, I named Alan and Trudy Lytle Citizens of the Month for their seemingly small but mighty commitment to our community. And really, this is awesome. You talk about people who, they haven't gone out and done huge things, but they've done so many smaller things that
That's
just
what
make
they've
our
done.
community so great.
That's
Tell us
the
about them.
Well, they go out and, for example, when they had the feral cat difficulty there at All American Park,
Right.
They help set up a feral cat community. They take care of it. They make sure that every single one of the cats are neutered, and so that eventually, it'll go away because of that. But they also make sure that they're kept safe. Then they also clean up around in the All American Park. They help so many different nonprofit organizations here within the city, just by tiny things, collecting materials to help the seniors, collecting materials to help people in high school that are in need, things along that line. And I will tell you, Trudy can come and get you when there's something wrong, but I prefer that than people not doing anything.
Yeah.
And Trudy has that passion, and we joke a little about it, but she has that passion. She wants to help, and she wants to be part of helping.
Right.
And I just think it's marvelous that all these little things that they've done turn into really a big thing
Right.
in the community.
Well, she's a person, she and Alan both are people that you'd want to have as neighbors because they're always taking care of things, taking care of the little things, keeping everything ship-shape in the neighborhood.
Right,
And, yeah.
right. They are doing a good job.
Well, it's great that you honored them for their commitment to the city. Also at a city council meeting, you recognized some Girl Scouts, and I love this too. You posted this on Facebook. You said, "Wonderful to recognize Girl Scouts for bringing awareness to the importance of pedestrians being aware of their surroundings." Now, this was pretty cool because you had the Scouts come to our city council meeting, and then they showed off this public service announcement
this is part
which
of-
we've been airing here on Channel 2 about the do's and don'ts about crossing the streets. Very creative. Stop, look, listen. And so that was the example of what not to do, and now you're going to get the example of what to do here.
Yes.
And this is all mostly what Councilwoman third graders that put this
Absolutely.
together.
I believe
Yeah.
there was only one fourth grader, and they were competing in a third and fourth grade group. And they did such a good job. They wrote it themselves, they developed it, and then they acted it, and did a great job, didn't
They
they?
surely did, and they're the girls that are
They
being honored at
deserve-
council. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's Beth DiFiore, who heads that unit and does a magnificent job. A magnificent job. And I was going to bring my Girl Scout, my old Girl Scout uniform, but I thought I might frighten them if I did. I was small and how I am now.
No. Kids are telling us about that public service announcement. Like I say, we're proud to be airing it here on Channel 2. It's just great safety tips.
It is.
And
It
I
is.
think because it was made by kids, it really attracts the attention of kids and adults. But because it was done by kids, they star in it, they wrote it. It's got kind of that bent. You can't help but get drawn in and pay attention
and
to it.
it's fun, and their facial expressions just magnificent.
right.
Yeah, they'll be winning Emmys here.
That's right. And thank you for mentioning that. Our own Eric Sorensen
Eric,
behind this
yes.
camera right here. And Tyler Pierce, who's running our audio, recently won an Emmy. So congratulations to them, and thank you for mentioning that. And then, Councilman, keeping on the safety theme here, the Float Like a Duck campaign. You do this every
Yes.
year at YMCA. This is back on May 26th. This is about the importance of teaching people how to swim. They can't swim. If they fall into a pool, how to save themselves. If a little child falls in the pool, to spin and grab onto the side, things like that.
Yes, and there's our duck. He's there every year.
Yeah, right.
And I think we had more people this year than we've ever had before. And of course, Tim Szymanski was here from our fire department, and he delivered information pertaining to safety. And I just and UMC was there. They have little tables, set up for things for the youngsters. And one of the things that's wonderful is you can't go on the big slide unless you're a certain height, but also you have to pass a little swim test.
Yeah.
And so they all were working hard to pass their test, and of course they have trained people who help them learn.
It's a great program. It's going to
was
keep.
at Henrik, by the way.
At YMCA, I should mention.
Yes.
Yeah, at the Heinrich YMCA in the pool there, which the city, by the way, that's a partnership with the Y and the city. We built the
right.
pool and provided the pool there. So
That's right. And when I go there, they say, "Look at the nice pool."
yeah,
the
that's
city.
a great pool. That is a great pool.
And I think that the taxpayers should really feel that they got their money's worth on that one.
Yeah, and even though it's a YMCA, anyone can visit. You can go there and use the pool facilities. Absolutely.
That's right.
It's open to the public there.
That's
so.
right.
Speaking of safety, Councilwoman, we're going to talk about pool safety, fireworks safety, and heat safety. We need to take a short break, but when we come back, one of our deputy fire chiefs will be in studio to give us some summer safety tips, and we let you know that this 4th of July, there's going to be some cracking down on illegal fireworks for the first time in many, many years. So that's next, so please
And
stay with us.
hooray for that.
Exactly, hooray for that.
Ever dream of being in the movies? Why not bring the movies to you?
And cut! Coffee. That was good. We're going to have to go 10 more times.
Become a filming location today. Register your home and or business at nevadafilm.com.
If anybody needs me, I'll be in my trailer.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Welcome back, everyone. The 4th of July is right around the corner, and this means many of you will be firing up your barbecues, having pool parties, and most likely lighting some fireworks. It's a fun time, but it can be dangerous. Here to give us some safety reminders is one of our Deputy Fire Chiefs, Robert Nolan. Thanks for being here, Robert. You are an expert in all of this. And I know the Councilwoman thrilled to have you on the show because this year, unlike years past, there's going to be some real change, right, Councilwoman, when it comes to enforcement dealing with illegal fireworks. Tell us about that, Councilwoman.
Well, in the past, I would have residents call me and tell me about the problems, and they would call Metro, they would call 911, 311. Nobody was responding, and that was because we didn't have the manpower to do that. Well, now it's my understanding that Metro put together a couple of units that will be out there through all the neighborhoods. And don't call 311, however, don't call 911, but instead use ispyfireworks.com. And you should be able to get through, and then you see the gentleman, the firemen, the policemen are out there in the field, and they'll be able to respond quickly because, you know, it's hard to catch them if you're someplace else,
right.
But now they'll get it right wherever they are, and they can quickly go to it.
And Robert, that's the big change this year, isn't it? The enforcement in the past, we just didn't have the ability to enforce it. And it was, in the last couple, 3 years, the amount of illegal fireworks, those that shoot up into the air and explode, that's what we're talking about. It's just, if you'll excuse the pun, have exploded. There have just been such an extensive use of them.
And heavy fines. You can tell them about the fines. So that if you're caught, it's not going to be an easy thing.
Tell us about that, Robert.
Thank you very much. Hats off to Metro. They have stepped up with an enforcement plan that will have, in our city alone, 2 teams from every area command, so a total of 8 teams just in the city of Las Vegas, with 2 Metro officers riding with a fire prevention officer from my staff as a subject matter experts, and this is above and beyond their normal coverage for the area. So that was the big change, and they will be citing, they will be confiscating, and they will really be trying to educate and change culture wherever they can in any neighborhood, turning the celebration into a neighborhood watch meeting.
Right, and this is different. Again, in the past, this kind of activity went on and there just wasn't the ability to go out and really do anything about it. And this year, I think the message we're trying to get across to everybody is there's a good chance that if you try to fire off a bunch of illegal fireworks this year, you'll be facing fines, confiscation of your fireworks, and then even disposal fees, Robert?
Disposal fees are a big part of that, and those costs can really get legs depending on how much of the stuff you have, if you've altered it, and if you have some federally regulated fireworks as well.
All right. And again, how should people report fireworks?
We're not trying to exclude people from calling 911. We're trying to preserve it for real emergencies. So using ispyfireworks.com allows us to get better information, real time, with geospatial coding to those people in the streets, and will preserve the 911 system, which has crashed in previous years as early as 8:30 because of the immense call volume
People
of people
trying to report the illegal
people
fireworks.
complaining
right.
about the fireworks in their neighborhood and all the noise.
Yeah. Councilwoman knows firsthand the dangers of illegal fireworks. I want you to tell your story about what happened at your house. Mm-hmm. Could have been far worse than it turned out, but it was a very bad situation as it was. Tell everybody what happened with an illegal firework.
Our family went to San Diego over the 4th of July one year. So we weren't there, and I don't know who was shooting off fireworks in the area. But nothing happened, and nothing was burnt, and so we thought everything went fine. Well, then November came, and we had very heavy rains, 3 times in a row. And the 3rd time we had it, all of a sudden I'm in my bed, and the ceiling starts falling. The lights are out, I don't know what it is, and I feel water on my face and my body and plaster. And I turn on the light quickly, and I notice that there's a big bulge in the ceiling, and the whole ceiling comes down. Well, I often have one of my grandchildren stay over and sleep with me, and if any of that had fallen on them, it would have been a very dangerous situation. But what I did then was I got up, and of course then later called insurance. I didn't know what had happened, and what they found out was somebody had shot off those very dangerous fireworks, and they had landed on my roof. Did not set my roof afire.
Burned a hole.
But burned a hole in the roof, not a big hole, just a little hole, but when the rains came, it made the hole bigger and bigger, and so then the water began to collect between the roof and the ceiling, and then it began to bulge, and it finally burst.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Councilwoman had similar experience last year. Illegal fireworks in my neighborhood were like I'd never seen before. We've been in that house almost 20 years, and a firework narrowly missed my daughter landing in our pool. So they can be dangerous if you've got them just flying everywhere. And again, Robert, we're going to be out looking for that this year, aren't we?
We are. We know people want to be patriotic. They want to celebrate and have a nice event for their family, but you need to do it responsibly. And these things, once it goes in the air, you have no control of where it's going to land or what kind of damage it's going to do.
And I just can't understand why we don't have respect for others. You know, I know it's exciting, and I know even members of my family want to do some of that, but you can't do it. It's not safe, and it's not safe for people who are around you. I saw people even using them near me another year, and you know, the sparks went off and hit a child.
Yeah. Sure. Not to mention it terrifies pets, dogs especially, with their sensitive hearing. It really sends them into a traumatic stage, for sure.
It does. It does. They'll howl, and they're in pain. They're in pain hearing that.
And they run away. They can run away, and that is very dangerous.
Yes, right.
Well,
So-
I just wanted to tell you, my brother had a very, very fine dog, best he ever had. He had him out on 4th of July. The dog ran away. Never found him again.
Oh, too bad.
tragic.
And that's what Robert's saying. That can be very common.
That's right.
So again, Robert, one more time, ispyfireworks.com is how you're going to report them.
That's right, ispyfireworks.com. And if you want to go to a great professional show, which is a much better way to have a family experience and celebrate, go to the You Light It, We Ride It.Vegas website, and you can find a listing of all the shows in your areas.
Perfect.
And lots of other great information.
All right, Robert, let's switch gears real quickly. I want to hit a couple other safety tips this summer. Pool safety. A lot of people, it's hot, really hot. People are going to be around the pool. We don't want any tragedies like we've had in the years past.
That's right. A tragedy can ruin a family for years. They might not ever recover, and pool safety is as simple as ABC. And you know what those are from our previous campaign.
Exactly, and tell everybody, Robert, what the ABC stands for.
A is for always have adult supervision.
Right.
Always, always, always.
Yeah.
Don't let a 12-year-old be responsible for the youngsters using the pool. Always have adult supervision. B is for barriers,
right.
as in fences, locked gates and latched gates, and locked patio doors, sliders if they have access, or doors with alarms on them. And the C is for classes, CPR classes, first aid classes. Great way to have a family tradition and a summer activity. Go enjoy a CPR class from the American Red Cross, American Heart Association, your local YMCA. So that's the ABCs.
Sounds very good, Robert. Very
The
good.
resources are there
Absolutely.
for us to learn what to do. We just have to take advantage of them.
Exactly.
And they're fun.
And great reminder. And then, Robert, boy, we're getting into that time of year where it's so brutally hot outside. Let's talk about some heat safety. I know some of this goes without saying, but every year we run into issues because people ignore the safety tips.
David, it's important that we learn these things because we need to minimize the impact to emergency rooms. We want to prevent the 911 call. We don't want you to have a summer or a year marring injury. And we live in a wonderful place to enjoy, but during the summer months we have some very hot months. And so to emphasize that point, I brought a few visuals.
Okay, yeah.
if you would like. Can you see this?
Yeah, set it on the
Yes,
table, Robert.
it's a garden
Yeah,
hose.
garden hose.
8 months out of the year, you're correct. During the summer months, that's a tankless water heater.
That's a tankless water heater.
During the summer months, when you leave that out there, the water that comes from your house of 80, 85 degrees can be heated to 120 degrees by this hose being left outside, and that water can easily scald any skin
Oh,
contact,
yes.
particularly if you grab the hose and run it on your head, that's a trip to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And we all know that children, elderly, and pets are very vulnerable
Yeah.
to first and second degree burns from that hot water, and that's very tragic, but easily prevented.
Wow.
Roll up your hose, take it in the house.
Yeah.
Don't leave it outside. That's a tankless
Especially in
water
the sun.
heater.
Oh, especially in the sunlight, right? What else, Robert?
I have another one. This is some easily obtainable foam insulation tape that's sold at most home centers, and people wrap their pipes in the winter. They think, oh, I don't want them to freeze and bust. But you can have body contact burns from gates, doorknobs, any metallic object left out in the sun.
Touching it, yeah.
While you touch it can give you a third-degree burn and send you to the emergency room. But something as simple as this tape, as you notice, the city has that on the doors going out of the council chamber.
You know, it's interesting. I really appreciate when businesses do that. If they have a door that's facing, especially that afternoon sun, I really appreciate when they'll put things like that on the door. When you open the door of that business to go and you don't burn your hand on the door.
You don't burn your hand. Simple preventative steps that you can take to prevent that 911 call, prevent that trip to the emergency room, and preserve those resources for really life-threatening emergencies.
Yeah. And again, last year, the 911 system, because of the fireworks, crashed because so many people were calling it. Again, we want to make sure that when you call 911, you can get through to someone. The system's going to work, and it's just really for the true emergencies.
Right. I wanted to add something else too. I didn't realize this, but in the parks, you know, we have the metal dishes for the animals.
Down low.
Right,
Yeah, down low. But they get hot too.
They surely do.
So we now have had to make it so that they'd be able to not have metal and not get burnt.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. And just always check the water before you're going to give it to the dog, to spray it in the yard, come in contact with anyone. It can be, like Robert said, it can be 120 degrees. That's nothing, that's serious. That's, like you said, that's a trip to the emergency room. So.
It certainly is. Another preventable injury is the heat from the asphalt. Wear proper footwear.
Yes.
Be very careful of walking your pets because they have very sensitive pads on their feet, especially if they haven't been out walking a lot. You want to take them for a walk. Do it very early. Keep it very short. Always look at the signs of your pet and look at what he's telling you. Listen to your body too. Are you sweating excessively? Are you having a rapid pulse? Are you out of breath? Are you starting to cramp up? Your body's telling you something.
Yeah.
You're getting your heat exhaustion.
Exactly. All right, great tips, Robert. Thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Councilwoman, I want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you, so if there's something you'd like to share with Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian, you can always find her on Facebook. And if you leave a comment, we may use your post on our next show. You can also contact the Councilwoman just by picking up the phone. The number is 702-229-6405, or send her an email. Her address is ltarkanian@lasvegasnevada.gov. And she will get back to you.
We try very hard to get back, yes.
Absolutely. Robert Nolan, Deputy Fire Chief, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Great information today. We really appreciate you being on the show. And Councilwoman, we'll see you back in 6 weeks with another update from
See you
Ward
back
1.
again, yes, and
Sounds
then
good.
we'll see how successful we were. through
Exactly.
The 4th of
And
July.
we'll get a report on that. Exactly.
And we'll get a
right.
report on
Exactly
that.
Right. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on June 28th with Councilman Bob Coffin. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.